claim that religion has created any and all existence of homophobia in society by putting it in a false light. The advocate's secondary claims are: 1, the Bible makes many statements of homosexuality versus heterosexuality in what is right. 2, people are taught to have a false equivalence of homosexuality. And 3, non-religious argument against gay marriage still heavily implies a connection to religion. While the evidence provides reasoning that religion can be a reason behind homophobia, there are flaws in the evidence and reasoning to support that it is the only reason. My response to the first claim is the Bible contains quotes that both condemn homosexuality as well as state that we should all love each other no matter what. The advocate discussed the quote from Genesis 19 about the men forcing other men to partake in wicked acts with each other. The Bible can have many different meanings, and the text is open to interpretation. So the relations of these men could be considered rape, and that is what the wicked act was, not the fact that it was the homosexual relations. The Bible also states in Mark 12 that we should love thy neighbor as thyself. This could mean that we should be accepting of all no matter what, and the reasoning here would then be that if we believe one quote from the Bible, we are to believe all quotes from the Bible, and thus we should not be homophobic because we are to love everyone no matter what. My response to their second claim is that not all religious leaders promote homophobia, and not all religions believe homosexuality is wrong. The advocate spoke of Pastor Anderson, who expressed the opinion that homosexuals are the equivalent of pedophiles. While there are some who believe this, there are other pastors and other religious speakers who are accepting of homosexuals. For example, Reverend John Makoka of Kenya states, gays and lesbians are children of God and created in his image. They should be accepted and affirmed as such. And God is love, and we cannot say as Christians we are practicing that love when we are closing doors for persons who are created in his image. This goes to show that while some preach against homophobia, not all do, and therefore not all are taught to have a false equivalence of homosexuality. The advocate also stated that NCAVP's 2013 hate violence report documents 2,001 incidents of anti-LGBTQ violence in 2013, a slight decrease from the 2016 total incidents reported in 2012. This went against their own claim by showing that the number of hate crimes is decreasing, but in reality it didn't even have much to do with their claim. So their evidence both counters the claim as well as lacks enough support for the validity of the claim. My response to their third and final claim is that not everyone believes in a religion, but they can still be homophobic. The advocate quotes, gay marriage has an approximate 0.9% lower annual divorce rate than straight marriage does. So this evidence, again, doesn't even support their claim and also lacks connection to its relevance. The advocate presented some non-religious quotes that state reasons behind homophobia, such as it's not natural, but they do not explain how then these are rooted in religious beliefs. They also say that people follow in their parents' footsteps in religion and thus have these thoughts rooted in them, but not all people have religion to influence their thoughts and reasoning. Chris Stedman of Religion News Service stated that Pew data suggests that around 20% of self-identified atheists and agnostics don't support same-sex marriage. So this shows that God's word or religion does not affect all who believe that homosexuality is bad. So in summary, while religion has a major part in homophobia, it may not be the only factor that created its existence. The Bible contradicts itself. Not all religions and religious leaders are promoting homophobia, and not only people who have or believe in religion can be homophobic. Thank you.
Okay, all the structural stuff is solid, except when you get to that first point, I didn't think that you'd clearly signposted that you're on the first point. Once you got to the second and third point, everything was much clearer, because it felt like you were going through background information at that particular point. The explanation about all of the citations from the Bible in the first part are okay. I mean, they do show that there are different ways to interpret things, and that there might be ways in which things could be seen as being irreconcilable. But since on the second point you're going to argue that a lot of religious followers also accept homosexuality and don't see it as being particularly negative, I'm not sure why that inconsistency matters if the followers are already accepting of this position. Doesn't that demonstrate in and of itself that there is a problem with the generalization that the advocate's presenting? The notion, I thought that was important that you needed to talk a little bit more, is that the advocate cited a singular example about a minister that preached intolerance toward homosexual behavior, and there's not really any discussion of whether or not there's consensus on these sorts of things. So both sides could be right in saying religion condemns homosexuality, religion accepts homosexuality. The question, though, is in general, does religion accept or reject it? And we don't really get any standard by which we can make a generalization. We just got contradictory examples on that point. And I think that there needs to be a little bit more analysis of that particular argument there. On the third argument, I thought your analysis of the evidence that the advocate used on divorce attempts to show that it's not particularly relevant to the claim that's being supported there. You asked a reasonable question, and then I thought you had an interesting statistic that suggested that people who are atheists, 20% of them don't support same-sex marriage. I assume that you're taking support for same-sex marriage as a measurement excuse me, of acceptance of homosexuality. So at least for the purpose of the argument, that's a pretty good issue there, although I think there might be problems with that definition or that criteria. What I thought was really useful, though, was the summary of the arguments that kind of put the whole set of arguments in context and gave us a reason to see your position, and I thought you did a nice job on that. Thank you.